Hey, it's Shannon here at the Dockyard, and today is day 5 of 50, so we are officially at the end of this video 10% of the way through. So thank you very much for coming along so far. Hopefully we grow as we go, and if you come back and you see this one, I think today's message is a really good one. Big thing today, you may have noticed that I didn't post over the weekend, and I posted a very short one on Friday. And it seemed to do pretty well, actually. So we're going to keep up with kind of a little bit more. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is one of the services that we deliver, which is more or less career counseling. And not so much in the sense that that is what we're dedicated to doing. Again, we work primarily with entrepreneurs, but a lot of people who come in and want to talk to me or reach out to me want to talk about, oh, Shannon, I hate my job. How can I get out of it? And entrepreneurship is definitely one of the ways that you can get out of a job that you hate. So today, we're going to go over, on day 5 of 50, how to quit your job, right? Okay, so some of the reasons that people might want to quit their job, and I'll break down why you might want to quit a job you hate, because there's no sense spending your life doing something you hate. We have an average life expectancy of about 90 years. Right now it's a little bit lower than that, but you got to think that medical advances are going to go. The fact that they were able to create an mRNA vaccine inside a year means that we're getting to the point where they're going to be able to cure genetic diseases pretty soon. So, woohoo! Of that 90 years, you're going to work about 52 of them. So that's working from 18 to 70. So some people will say, well, university doesn't count. University counts. College counts. Those are all days where you really don't control your own destiny and you do what you have to do. And if you don't put in the work, like I do, you end up having to take your second degree much later in life and playing catch up. You sleep 8 hours a day. So of those 52 years, you sleep 8 hours of the day during the week. And we're just going to look at weekdays. 9 hours a day. So if you count your commute and the time that you spend at work, you're about 9 hours of that day. So between sleep and work, you're 17 hours in the day. And then if we add 4 hours, showering for work, cooking, cleaning, eating, you probably another 4 roundish hours there. That might be a little high, but just stick with that. So that leaves us with 3 hours of free time a day, where you can pursue your passion, where you can be happy about what you're doing with your time. So factor in kids, spouses, relationships, all those things. You don't actually have a great deal of time. Not that you don't enjoy the time that you spend with them. That's a small amount of time to get to spend with someone. There are really kind of 2 prevailing wisdoms about how you can make this a better situation for yourself. One is you can work to create more time here, but that's hard because you either have to take it away from sleep, which has detrimental health effects. You can take it away from work, which means if you work less, you can do that. But if you work less, you make less money, which means sometimes it's a little bit more stressful because this gets more stressful, which is you're eating and cleaning in your house. Or you can, live in a little bit of squalor, like sometimes I do, and steal from here. So you're stealing time. You're playing this trade-off game that never really works out. So if we work 80% of our life, and we spend 87.5% of that work weeks engaging in activities pertaining to work, engaging in work or activities that's about subsistence, like feeding yourself and washing yourself and wiping your own ass. It's not a recipe for a very happy life. So, coming back to quitting your job. So, step 1, build a plan. All right, there's no sense in just quitting your job if you don't have a plan. There aren't that many jobs out there. And even worse, there's not that many situations where you're going to leave a job and walk into the perfect job right away. So you need to build a plan and keep it to yourself, share it with your spouse, your partner, whatever. But this could be a 6-month or a 9-month plan. So just really take the plan seriously. It's going to include where you're going to be looking for jobs. Is that going to require a move? So does that require looking at selling your house? A whole bunch of things like that. Be incredibly deliberate during this period of time. It's one of the best pieces of advice that you can have at any point in your life, but when you make a decision, stick to it and don't waffle on anything. Oh, should I do this? Just be deliberate. Take the time, do it, or stick to the plan. Build new skills within your current workplace or your current role. So a lot of us get trapped in roles that we don't like, and we end up doing the same thing over and over and over and over. And if you're in a situation like that, there's a good chance that other people in your organization are in situations like that. And it means that some stuff is getting left through the cracks. So if there's a section of your company or an area or a job or a task that you're actually interested in, which actually might relate to your plan about what you want to do long term, that will actually give you satisfaction inside of those hours of the day that you can't get back, try to do it. Try to say, listen, I really talk to your boss, and because you know you're going to quit, you have nothing to lose. So listen, I'd really like to learn how to drive that forklift, or I'd really like to learn a little bit more about how the bookkeeping and the accounting is done, or I'd really like to, learn how to weld or something like that. It doesn't have to be in industry, or I'd like to go on a sales call with one of the sales guys and see how it runs. You know what? Most of the time, that enthusiasm is going to be rewarding. So just, build new skills in your current workplace. If your company does have the opportunity to go for training, volunteer. What's the worst that could happen? They're going to say no, and it's a job that you hate anyway. Step 4, find your new job. A lot of the times, if you've done steps 1 through 3, that job might even be inside the company that you already work in. But if it's not, find a new job, reevaluate your decisions. So go back through all of this stuff and say, okay, does it fit my plan? Is this a deliberate move? Will me going here actually achieve what I laid out in my plan? Then you can say, okay, well, do I have the skills required for it? Or can I develop the skills in my current role even better? And then pull the trigger. Don't hesitate. Life is way too short, as we've proven, to waste it doing something you hate. For a lot of people, that could mean following the passion and starting their own business. That's what Dockyard is here for. For other people, it is just going to a different business, different company, different sector, and figuring something out. Some people, it's a move, it's a change of scenery that they need. But like I said, we got 90 years on this rock. 52 years you're going to spend working, and during the weekdays, 87.5% is going to be spent doing things that you don't necessarily want to do. So if we can figure out how to change that 80% into something that fulfills us, then our travel to and from work is not spent dreading it. It's not spent hanging your head in shame or shaking in frustration. On the other side, it's worth doing. So as a Monday morning motivational speech for day 5 of 50, quit your job. I can tell you how. See ya.